Today we will discuss about liquid rho model, and this model was proposed by a great physicist, Niels Bohr, who observed that there are certain marked similarities between atomic nucleus and liquid rho. In the liquid rho model, the forces acting in the nucleus are assumed to be similar to the molecular forces in the droplet of a liquid. So today, in this lecture, we will discuss what are the similarities between liquid rho and atomic nucleus, what are the assumptions of this liquid rho model, what are the merits and demerits, and what are the applications of liquid rho model. Also, we will discuss about semi-empirical mass formula. That is a very important formula for calculating binding energy. So now let us start with sharing my file. Now I am going to start my PPT. Thus, now is it visible? This liquid rho model. This is proposed by Niels Bohr and Wheeler in 1939. These are the two great physicists, Niels Bohr and Wheeler. Now, what uh, basically there are the similarities between liquid rho and atomic nucleus. So now let us discuss one by one. First similarity is that the nuclear forces are analogous to the surface tension of a liquid. Means we know that the nucleus is supposed to be spherical in shape in the stable state, just as a liquid rho in spherical due to the is spherical due to the symmetrical surface tension forces. This is well known that liquid rho is spherical due to surface tension. Similarly, nucleus is supposed to be spherical in shape. And the second similarity, the nucleon behaves in a manner similar to that of molecules in a liquid. The density of the nuclear matter is almost independent of mass number, showing resemblance to liquid rho, where the density of a liquid is independent of the size of the rho. In our previous lecture, we concluded that the density of a liquid rho is independent of its volume. Similarly, the density of the nucleus is independent of its volume. Now, the disintegration of nuclei by the emission of particles is analogous to the evaporation of molecules from the surface of the liquid. Means the molecules evaporates from a liquid rho on raising the temperature of a liquid due to their increased energy of thermal agitation. Similarly, when energy is given to a nucleus by bombarding it with a nuclear projectiles, a compound nucleus is formed which emits nuclear radiations almost immediately. Next similarity is the absorption of bombarding particles by the nucleus corresponding to the condensation of the drop. Next similarity between liquid rho and the nucleus is the constant binding energy per nucleon is analogous to the latent heat of vaporization. The energy of nuclei correspond to internal thermal vibration of drop molecules. When a small drop of liquid is allowed to oscillate, it breaks up into two similar drops of equal size. The process of nuclear fission is similar, and the nucleus breaks up into two similar nuclei in the case of nuclear fission. So this is the similarity between liquid drop, and atomic nucleus. Now, similarly, uh, the important next is that uh, the forces acting in a liquid drop are short range forces. Means the intermolecular forces in a liquid are short range forces. The molecules in a liquid drop interact only with their immediate neighbors. Similarly, in the case of nuclear physics, in the case of nuclear forces, the nuclear forces are short range forces. Nucleons in the nucleus also interact only with their immediate neighbors. This leads to the saturation in the nuclear forces and a constant binding energy per nucleon. So these are the some uh, uh, similarities between uh, liquid drop and uh, atomic nucleus. Now, let us discuss the assumptions of the liquid flow model. What are the assumptions of the liquid flow model? Very important assumptions are there. It was assumed that the nucleus consists of incompressible matter, so that R equal to R naught A to the power 1 by 3. This is very well known empirical formula for calculating the radius of a nucleus, where R0 is 1.3 Fermi, and we know that 1 Fermi equal to 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Similarly, the other assumption is the nuclear force is independent for every nucleon. The nuclear force does not depend on the nucleon. Means the nuclear force between any two nucleons is same. The nuclear force between other nucleons. The nuclear force saturates the assumption, and in an equilibrium state, the nuclei of atom remain spherically symmetric under the action of strong attractive nuclear forces. These were some assumptions of liquid rho model. Now let us discuss a very important formula that is known as semi-empirical mass formula that has been derived on the basis of liquid rho model. This is the very well-known formula, and using this formula we can calculate, we can evaluate binding energy. This is the semi-empirical mass formula. In some books, you will see the another form like this, the binding energy formula. And obviously there are some terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. And each term is having its importance. This first term is known as volume energy term. Is the volume energy term. Here this A, capital A is the mass number. That is the atomic number or number of protons. And this A gives the number of nucleons in the nucleus. And AV, AS, AC, A symmetry, and delta AP, these are some constants. Now let us discuss this formula. The liquid rho model can be used to obtain an expression for the binding energy of the nucleus. Vijakar proposed the semi-empirical nuclear binding energy formula for a nucleus of mass number A containing Z protons and N nucleons and N neutrons. And we know the capital A equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons in the nucleus. This is the binding energy formula. Now let us discuss these terms one by one. This first term, AB into A, this is positive, and this is known as volume energy. This term is volume energy. Each term is representing energy. Some terms are with negative sign, some with positive sign. This first term, AV, is the volume energy, and large. It is clear that this is with plus sign, means this term for volume energy increases the binding energy of a nucleus. And the larger total number of nucleons, capital A, the more difficult it will be to remove the individual protons and neutrons from the nucleus, because this term enhances the magnitude of the binding energy. Binding energy is more, nucleus will be more stable. This term contribute in a positive direction, and it increases the binding energy of a nucleus. So it will be very difficult to remove the individual protons and neutrons from the nucleus. Obviously, this binding energy is directly proportional to the number of nucleons, capital A. Binding energy directly proportional to capital A, because A is constant, and the capital A is the mass number that represents the total number of nucleons in the nucleus. Now, second term. This second term is the surface energy. Represents the surface energy, and this is negative. It means this term decreases the binding energy of the nucleus. And nucleons, we know nucleons at the surface of the nucleus are not completely surrounded by other nucleons. As the energy of the nucleons on the surface is less than that in the interior, because the nucleons that are interior will be surrounded by other nucleons in all directions, but the nucleons that are on the surface will not be covered, will not be surrounded by in all directions by other nucleons. Hence, the energy of the nucleons on the surface is less than in the interior. A nucleus of radius small r has an area 4 pi r square, because nucleus is spherical in shape. If r is the radius of the nucleus, then its surface area will be 4 pi r square. And we know r equal to r naught a to the power 1 by 3. Empirical formula, we can put r equal to r naught a to the power 1 by 3. Then area will be 4 pi r to the square a to the power 2 by 3. Hence, the surface effect reduces the binding energy by minus as a to the power 2 by 3. The negative energy, this negative energy is called the surface energy of the nucleus. It is most significant for the lighter nuclei, since a greater fraction of their nucleons are on the surface. Now, let us discuss the third term. This third term is again with minus sign, means again this term decreases the binding energy of the nucleus. This is known as Coulombic energy. And the electrostatic repulsion between each pair of electrons in a nucleus also contributes towards decreasing its binding energy. The Coulombic energy of a nucleus is the work that must be done to bring together Z protons from infinity into a volume equal to that of the nucleus. Therefore, this energy, Coulombic energy, will be directly proportional to Z into Z minus 1 upon R. The number of protons pairs in a nucleus containing Z protons, and this Coulombic energy is inversely proportional to the nuclear radius r. This is negative because it arises from a force that opposes nuclear stability. Now let us discuss fourth term. This is a symmetric term. The fourth term originates from the lack of symmetry between the number of protons Z and the number of neutrons N in the nucleus. We know when number of protons and number of neutrons are equal, means N equal to Z, then there will be maximum stability of the nucleus. That is symmetry. And if there is some diversion or some deviation from the symmetry, then there will be decrement in the binding energy. Any departure from this introduces an asymmetry N minus Z, capital N minus capital Z, where capital N is the number of neutrons in the nucleus and capital Z is the number of protons in the nucleus, which results in a decrease in the stability. The decrease in binding energy arising from this is known as asymmetric energy. This is also negative because this decreases the binding energy. Now, last and fifth term is pairing term, the final correction term, where delta is the correction term. This term is the correction term or pairing term, And the final correction term delta allows for the fact that even nuclei are more stable than odd nuclei, and delta will be positive for even nuclei, and delta will be negative for odd nuclei, and it will be zero for an odd A. If number of nucleons in the nucleus are odd, then delta will be zero. And if nuclei are even means number of protons are even, number of neutrons are even, then nuclear is even nuclei. Then this delta will be positive. Positive means it will increase the binding energy. It will contribute in the increment of the binding energy. And if nuclei are odd means number of protons odd, number of neutrons odd, then nuclei are odd nuclei. Then this term will be negative. Negative means it will decreases the binding energy of the nucleus. These are uh, five terms that are used, have been used in this binding energy relation, mass energy formula. And what are the values of these constants AB, AS, AC, SMT, AP? The best values for these constants expressed in MeV are in MeV because binding energy is taken in MeV. Therefore, the unit of each term will be MeV. The dimensions of each term will be same. This is in MeV. This will be in MeV. This will be in MeV. This term will be in MeV. This will be in MeV. This will be in. Now, because A is a number, is the unitless quantity, and AV will have dimension of energy. AV will have the unit of energy. There will be unit of AV will be MeV. AV will be equal to 15.760 MeV, and similarly this AS surface constant, this is 17.810 MeV, AC is 0.711 MeV, and this asymmetry 23.702 and delta 34. These are the best values for the of these constants expressed in MeV. Now, this semi-empirical mass formula is also known as Weizsäcker's empirical mass formula. That is a very famous formula. Now we can plot these terms on a graph, and let us discuss the contribution at the various effect in Weizsäcker's empirical mass formula. So now let us plot these terms independently on a graph. So this represents the systematic. This is the systematical representation of these terms of total binding energy. Now, if this binding energy is divided by capital A, in this formula, we divide the binding energy by capital A, then we will have binding energy per nucleon. And binding energy per nucleon B upon A, it will be AV, it will be constant, minus, we just divide the entire formula by A. This side will be binding energy per nucleon. Now, this is the graphical representation. This is the first term, volume energy. This is the first term. First term is divided by A. So now we have only constant term, that is AB. So this will be straight line. On this y-axis, we have taken binding energy upon A, and on x-axis we have taken A, mass number. This is the first term, volume energy term, or this is the volume energy. Now second energy is this surface energy, and this is the surface energy. You will see surface energy negative. So this is from negative side, is the surface energy. Here we have taken that ES. ES means surface energy divided by A. Here this is volume energy EV upon A. So this is the second term, second energy, that is a surface energy. Now third energy is Coulombic energy or electrostatic energy. Again this is negative. Therefore this is Coulombic energy. This Coulombic energy EC upon A. C for Coulombic. EC upon A. This is negative EC upon A. This is the Coulombic energy. Now, fourth energy is the symmetric energy. Asymmetric. This is the symmetric energy. ES upon A. S for symmetric. ES upon A is the symmetric energy. This is the negative. And fourth, this is the symmetric energy. And the final, you will see, this is the asymmetric energy, is the surface energy, this is the volume energy, this is the Coulombic energy. All these energies, 1, 2, 3, 4, has been drawn on this graph. This represents the total energy, total binding energy per nucleon. So this is the variation how binding energy changes with atomic with the mass number capital N. Is the very important binding energy per nucleon. Initially increases binding energy, then it will start to decrease. So this is the discussion about semi-empirical mass formula. Now let us discuss merits of liquid rho model. There are some merits of liquid rho models. The liquid rho model accounts for many of the salient features of nuclear matter, such as their observed binding energy of the nuclei and their stability against alpha and beta disintegration, as well as nuclear fission. Now, next merit of this liquid rho model is the calculation of atomic masses and binding energies can be done with good accuracy with liquid rho model. Means by liquid rho model, we can calculate atomic masses and binding energy more accurately. However, there are some demerits of this liquid rho model, and these demerits are this model could not explain other properties, in particular the magic numbers. What are magic numbers? This model could not explain the magic numbers. Now, this model fails to explain the measured spins and magnetic moments of the nuclei. It could not explain the excited state in most of the nuclei. So these are some demerits of this liquid rho model. Now this was about liquid rho model. Now today we have discussed uh, uh, about the liquid rho model. What are the merits? What are the demerits? And what are assumptions of liquid rho model? What are the similarities between a liquid rho and a nucleus? And the semi-empirical mass formula. This is a very important model. Now, in next one, we will discuss some other things. Then, now we stop.